Guangzhou Baiyun Airport. ATC information mic. Time 1251 Zulu. Wind 120 at 11. Visibility 21. Temperature 30. Dew point 26. QNH 1006. Remarks, no pattern work. No light aircraft accepted at this time. Landing runways 19 right and 20 left. Expect ILS approach. Departing runways 19 right, 19 left and 20 right. Advise on initial contact. You have information mic.
Pushback approved. Tail to the north. Emirates 363 Heavy.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground. Etihad 557. Request taxi to gate 117 at the Terminal 1. China Southern 5656 Heavy. Runway 19 left. Taxi via Delta. Juliet 20. Contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 19 left via Delta. Juliet 20. China Southern 5656 Heavy. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground. Xiamen Air 8301. Request taxi to the Terminal 2. Xiamen Air 8301. Taxi to waypoint via Yankee. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground. Emirates 362 Super. Request taxi to gate 206 at the Terminal 1. Taxiing to waypoint via Yankee. Xiamen Air 8301. China Southern 9612 Heavy. Request frequency change. Emirates 362 Super. Taxi to Terminal 1 gate 206.
Taxiing to Terminal 1 gate 206. Emirates 362 Super.
China Southern 9612 Heavy. Contact Guangzhou Baiyun Tower on 118.1. Taxi to parking. Etihad 557. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground. Etihad 557. Request taxi to gate 117 at the Terminal 1.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground. China Southern 3419. Ready to taxi with information mic. China Southern 1 Heavy. Request frequency change.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground. Indonesia 10. Request taxi to gate 106 at the Terminal 1.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground. Etihad 557. Request taxi to remote 323 at the maintenance apron. Etihad 557. Taxi to maintenance apron remote 323 via Bravo.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground. China Southern 8008. Request taxi to remote 314 at the maintenance apron.
Indonesia 10. Taxi to parking, at your discretion. Taxiing to maintenance apron remote 323 via Bravo. Etihad 557.
Taxi to parking. Indonesia 10.
China Southern 3419. Runway 19 left. Taxi via Delta. Tango 4. Foxtrot 1. Foxtrot 2. Contact tower when ready. China Southern 1 Heavy. Contact Guangzhou Baiyun Tower on 118.1.
Contacting Guangzhou Baiyun Tower on 118.1. China Southern 1 Heavy.
China Southern 3493. Pushback approved. Tail to the north.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground. Sadia 882 Heavy. Request taxi to gate 129 at the Terminal 1.
Pushback approved. Tail to the north. China Southern 3493.
Bravo 520 Alpha Heavy. Request permission to cross runway 20 right.
China Southern 8008. Taxi to maintenance apron remote 314. Hold short of 2 left 20 right.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground. China Southern 8033 Super. Ready to push back with information mic. Taxiing to maintenance apron remote 314. Will hold short of 2 left 20 right. China Southern 8008.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground. China Southern 2371. Ready to taxi with information mic. China Southern 2371. Taxi to runway 20 right. Contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 20 right. China Southern 2371. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground. Xiamen Air 8301. Request taxi to the Terminal 2. China Southern 8033 Super. Pushback approved. Tail to the north.
Stand by. EVA 321.
Sadia 882 Heavy. Taxi to Terminal 1 gate 129.
Pushback approved. Tail to the north. China Southern 8033 Super.
Taxiing to Terminal 1 gate 129. Sadia 882 Heavy.
Taxi to parking. China Southern 3425 Heavy. Thank you. Good day. EVA 321.
China Southern 302. Pushback approved. Tail to the north.
China Southern 8008. Request permission to cross runway 20 right. Holding position. EVA 321. China Southern 3419, request frequency change.
Guangzhou Bayan ground, Emirates 009 Victor Alpha, ready for pushback with information mic.
Air China 001 Heavy, taxi to Y via Yankee 14, Yankee. Xiamen Air A301, taxi to parking, at your discretion. Taxi to parking, Xiamen Air A301.
Contacting Guangzhou Bayan Tower on 118.1, China 78008.
Taxiing to runway 20 right via Quebec 15, Quebec 6, Alpha 1, Emirates 363 Heavy. China Southern 3493, runway 20 right, taxi via Lima 15, Alpha, Alpha 2, contact tower when ready. China Southern 3419, contact Guangzhou Bayan Tower on 118.1. Taxiing to runway 20 right via Lima 15, Alpha, Alpha 2, China Southern 3493. Pushback approved, tail to the north, China Southern 37. Guangzhou Bayan ground, China Southern 374, request taxi to gate 146 at the Terminal 2.
Guangzhou Bayan ground, China Southern 302, ready to taxi with information mic. VHL-12 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 2 left.
Guangzhou Bayan ground, China Southern 8033 Super, ready to taxi with information mic.
China Southern 374, taxi to Terminal 2 gate 146. Taxiing to Terminal 2 gate 146, China Southern 374. DHL-12 Heavy, taxi to Y via Yankee 16, Yankee. Guangzhou Bayan ground, China Southern 55 Victor Heavy, ready for pushback with information November, requesting runway 20 right. China Southern 55 Victor Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the north. China Southern 8033 Super, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to Y via Yankee 16, Yankee, DHL-12 Heavy.
Pushback approved, tail to the north, China Southern 55 Victor Heavy. Guangzhou Bayan ground, China Southern 165 Heavy, ready for pushback with information mic, requesting runway 20 right. China Southern 302, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to runway 20 right, China Southern 302. Guangzhou Bayan ground, DHL-12 Heavy, request taxi to cargo 513 at the cargo apron.
DHL-12 Heavy, taxi to parking, at your discretion.
Taxi to parking, DHL-12 Heavy.
Guangzhou Bayan ground, China Southern 37, ready to taxi with information mic. China Southern 37, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 20 right, China Southern 37. Emirates 362 Super, taxi to waypoint via Yankee 16.
Guangzhou Bayan ground, Emirates 362 Super, request taxi to gate 117 at the Terminal 1.
Thank you. Good day, Emirates 362 Super.
Taxiing to waypoint via Yankee 16, Emirates 362 Super.
Guangzhou Bayan ground, Etihad 557, ready for pushback, requesting runway 20 right. Guangzhou Bayan ground, TransJade 1160, request taxi to parking. TransJade 1160, taxi to parking, at your discretion. Taxi to parking, TransJade 1160. Etihad 557, pushback approved, tail to the south.
Guangzhou Bayan ground, Indonesia 11 Heavy, ready for pushback with information November, requesting runway 20 right.
Emirates 363 Heavy, contact Guangzhou Bayan Tower on 118.1. Pushback approved, tail to the south, Etihad 557. Contacting Guangzhou Bayan Tower on 118.1, Emirates 363 Heavy. Guangzhou Bayan ground, China Southern 165 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information mic. Indonesia 11 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the north. China Southern 165 Heavy, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 20 right, China Southern 165 Heavy.
Thank you, China Southern 8008.
China Southern 165 Heavy, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Guangzhou Bayan ground,
Ethiopian 606 Heavy. Request taxi to gate 155 at the Terminal 2. Taxiing to Y via Yankee 12, Yankee, Ethiopian 606 Heavy.
China Southern 302, continue taxi.
Continue taxi, China Southern 302.
Guangzhou Beiyang Ground, Emirates 362 Super, request taxi to gate 117 at the Terminal 1.
Emirates 362 Super, taxi to parking, at your discretion.
Taxi to parking, Emirates 362 Super.
Air China 1317 Heavy, disregard last message. Air China 1317 Heavy, runway 20 right, taxi via Lima 5, Alpha, Lima 22, Alpha 1, contact tower when ready. Guangzhou Beiyang Ground, Hotel Zulu Alpha Quebec 29, request taxi to gate 104 at the Terminal 1. Guangzhou Beiyang Ground, Etihad 557, ready to taxi to runway 20 right. Taxiing to runway 20 right via Lima 5, Alpha, Lima 22, Alpha 1, Air China 1317 Heavy. Hotel Zulu Alpha Quebec 29, taxi to Terminal 1 gate 104. Guangzhou Beiyang Ground, Finnair 580, ready for pushback with information mic, requesting runway 19 left. Finnair 580, hold position. Holding position, Finnair 580. Guangzhou Beiyang Ground, Etihad 557, ready to taxi to runway 20 right. Etihad 557, runway 20 right, taxi via Bravo, Lima 22, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 20 right via Bravo, Lima 22, Etihad 557. China Southern 302, contact Guangzhou Beiyang Tower on 118.1.
Contacting Guangzhou Beiyang Tower on 118.1, China Southern 302.
Guangzhou Beiyang Ground, Indonesia 11 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information November.
Guangzhou Beiyang Ground, Ethiopian 606 Heavy. Request taxi to gate 158 at the Terminal 2.
Indonesia 11 Heavy, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to runway 20 right, Indonesia 11 Heavy.
Thank you, good day, China Southern 3420 Heavy. Ethiopian 606 Heavy, taxi to parking, at your discretion.
Taxi to parking, Ethiopian 606 Heavy.
Air China Freight 838, taxi to Y via Yankee 12, Yankee. Guangzhou Beiyang Ground, Speedbird 77, ready for pushback with information November. Speedbird 77, pushback approved, tail to the north. Taxiing to Y via Yankee 12, Yankee, Air China Freight 838. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Speedbird 77. Finnair 580, pushback approved, tail to the north. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Finnair 580.
Guangzhou Beiyang Ground, Emirates 363 Super, ready for pushback with information November, requesting runway 20 right.
Emirates 363 Super, pushback approved, tail to the north.
Pushback approved, tail to the north, Emirates 363 Super.
Guangzhou Beiyang Ground, Air China Freight 838, request taxi to cargo 503 at the cargo apron. Air China Freight 838, taxi to Y via Yankee. Taxiing to Y via Yankee, Air China Freight 838. Bravo 520 Alpha Heavy, runway 20 right, taxi via Lima 4, Alpha, Lima 22, Alpha 1, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 20 right via Lima 4, Alpha, Lima 22, Alpha 1, Bravo 520 Alpha Heavy. Bravo 520 Alpha Heavy, please follow instructions. Guangzhou Beiyang Ground, Air China Freight 838, Request taxi to cargo 501 at the cargo apron. Air China Freight 838, taxi to parking, at your discretion. Taxi to parking, Air China Freight 838. Air China 1317 Heavy, taxi to T1 via Bravo, Tango 1.
Taxiing to T1 via Bravo, Tango 1, Air China 1317 Heavy.
Air China 1317 Heavy, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, China Southern 307, ready for pushback with information November. Bravo 520 Alpha Heavy, taxi to T2 via Bravo, Tango 2. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Speedbird 77, ready to taxi with information November.
Taxiing to runway 20 right, Air China 1317 Heavy.
China Southern 307, hold position. Holding position, China Southern 307. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Dynasty 29 Bravo Heavy, ready for pushback with information November, requesting runway 20 right. Speedbird 77, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 20 right, Speedbird 77. Dynasty 29 Bravo Heavy, pushback approved. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Finnair 580, ready to taxi with information Mike. Finnair 580, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 20 right, Finnair 580. Bravo 520 Alpha Heavy, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. China Southern 307, pushback approved, tail to the north.
Taxiing to runway 20 right, Bravo 520 Alpha Heavy.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Emirates 363 Super, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information November.
China Southern 253, request permission to cross runway 20 right.
Emirates 363 Super, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Bravo 520 Alpha Heavy, ready to taxi with information Mike.
Taxiing to runway 20 right, Emirates 363 Super.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Indonesia 1038, request taxi to gate 204 at the Terminal 1. China Southern 253, contact Guangzhou Baiyun Tower on 118.1. Air China 1317 Heavy, please expedite.
Contacting Guangzhou Baiyun Tower on 118.1, China Southern 253.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Dynasty 29 Bravo Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information November. Indonesia 1038, taxi to Terminal 1 gate 204. Taxiing to Terminal 1 gate 204, Indonesia 1038.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, China Southern 37 Echo, request taxi to parking.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Air China 1317 Heavy, ready to taxi with information Mike.
Dynasty 29 Bravo Heavy, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 20 right, Dynasty 29 Bravo Heavy. Air China 1317 Heavy, please check the user guide from the home screen for help using ATC instructions. China Southern 37 Echo, taxi to parking, at your discretion.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, China Southern 37 Echo, request taxi to gate 206 at the Terminal 1.
China Southern 37 Echo, taxi to Terminal 1 gate 206.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, China Southern 22, ready for pushback with information November, requesting runway 20 right.
Taxiing to Terminal 1 gate 206, China Southern 37 Echo.
China Southern 22, pushback approved.
Pushback approved, China Southern 22.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Bravo 658 Papa, ready for pushback with information November. Bravo 658 Papa, pushback approved, tail to the south.
Virgin 24 Alpha Charlie, request permission to cross runway 20 right.
Pushback approved, tail to the south, Bravo 658 Papa. Virgin 24 Alpha Charlie, taxi to Y via Yankee 14, Yankee.
Guangzhou by and ground, China Southern 767, ready for pushback.
Emirates 362 Super, taxi to parking, at your discretion. Taxi to parking, Emirates 362 Super. China Southern 767, pushback approved.
Pushback approved, China Southern 767.
Guangzhou Beiyang ground, November 541 Kilo Whiskey, request taxi to parking.
Guangzhou by and ground, China Southern 37 Echo, ready for pushback with information Oscar. Shandong 446, taxi to runway 19 left, contact tower when ready. November 541 Kilo Whiskey, taxi to parking, at your discretion.
Taxi to parking, November 541 Kilo Whiskey.
Taxiing to runway 19 left, Shandong 446.
Guangzhou Beiyang ground, November 541 Kilo Whiskey, request taxi to parking. Guangzhou Beiyang ground, November 541 Kilo Whiskey, request taxi to gate 147 at the Terminal 2.
November 541 Kilo Whiskey, taxi to parking, at your discretion.
Guangzhou Beiyang ground, China Southern 347 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information November.
Guangzhou Beiyang ground, Turkish 1956, ready for pushback.
November 541 Kilo Whiskey, taxi to Terminal 2 gate 147.
Taxiing to Terminal 2 gate 147, November 541 Kilo Whiskey. Thank you. Good day. Echo Papa Mike Tango Charlie.
China Southern 37 Echo, pushback approved.
Guangzhou Beiyang ground, China Southern 347 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information November.
Turkish 1956, pushback approved, tail to the south. China Southern 347 Heavy, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to runway 20 right, China Southern 347 Heavy.
Pushback approved, tail to the south, Turkish 1956.
Guangzhou by and ground, China Southern 37 Echo, ready for pushback with information Oscar, requesting runway 19 left.
Guangzhou by and ground, China Southern 767, ready to taxi.
China Southern 767, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. China Southern 894 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 20 right.
Taxiing to runway 20 right, China Southern 767.
China Southern 37 Echo, pushback approved.
Guangzhou Beiyang ground, German cargo 2507 Heavy, ready for pushback with information November.
Pushback approved, China Southern 37 Echo. China Southern 894 Heavy, cross runway 20 right. Guangzhou by and ground, Cathay 988 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Oscar, requesting runway 20 right. Crossing runway 20 right, China Southern 894 Heavy. Guangzhou by and ground, China 721 Echo Heavy, request taxi to gate 165 at the Terminal 2. Guangzhou by and ground, China 73001 Super, ready for pushback with information Oscar, requesting runway 19 left. China 721 Echo Heavy, taxi to Y via Yankee 12, Yankee. Taxiing to Y via Yankee 12, Yankee, China 721 Echo Heavy.
Guangzhou by and ground, Cathay 988 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Oscar, requesting runway 20 right.
China 73001 Super, pushback approved. Cathay 988 Heavy, pushback approved. Pushback approved, China 73001 Super.
Pushback approved, Cathay 988 Heavy.
Guangzhou by and ground, China 7894 Heavy, request taxi to gate 171 at the Terminal 2.
Guangzhou Bay and ground, Turkish 1956, ready to taxi.
China 7347 Heavy, request frequency change.
China 7894 Heavy, taxi to Terminal 2 gate 171 via Alpha, Tango 3.
Guangzhou Bay and ground, China Eastern 827, request taxi to parking.
Taxiing to Terminal 2 gate 171 via Alpha, Tango 3, China 7894 Heavy.
Guangzhou Bay and ground, Cathay 1018 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information Oscar.
Guangzhou by and ground, China 737 Echo, ready to taxi to runway 19 left with information Oscar. Attention all aircraft, ATC information Papa is now current.
Guangzhou Bay and ground, Yemeni 708 Super, ready for pushback with information Oscar. Guangzhou Bay and ground, Cathay 1018 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information Oscar.
China Eastern 827, request permission to cross runway 20 right.
Guangzhou Bay and ground, German Cargo 2507 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Papa.
Guangzhou by and ground, China 73001 Super, ready to taxi to runway 19 left with information Oscar.
Guangzhou by and ground, Cathay 988 Heavy, ready to taxi with information Oscar.
Cathay 988 Heavy, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to runway 20 right, Cathay 988 Heavy.
Turkish 1956, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Cathay 1018 Heavy, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Guangzhou by and ground, China 737 Echo, ready to taxi to runway 19 left with information Oscar.
Taxiing to runway 20 right, Turkish 1956. Taxiing to runway 20 right, Cathay 1018 Heavy. Guangzhou Bay and ground, Royal Air Maroc 789, ready for pushback with information Mike.
Guangzhou by and ground, China 73001 Super, ready to taxi to runway 19 left with information Oscar. Guangzhou by and ground, China 73001 Super, ready for pushback with information Oscar, requesting runway 19 left.
Guangzhou Bay and ground, Ethiopian 633 Victor Alpha, request taxi to cargo 504 at the cargo apron.
Guangzhou by and ground, China 73001 Super, ready to taxi with information Oscar. Guangzhou by and ground, China 7502 Victor Alpha, ready for pushback with information Oscar.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Singapore 850 Heavy, request taxi to gate 150 at the Terminal 2. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Yemeni 708 Super, ready for pushback with information Oscar.
China Southern 3001 Super, runway 19 left, taxi via Delta, Tango 4, Foxtrot 1, Foxtrot 2, contact tower when ready.
Turkish 1956, request frequency change.
Taxiing to runway 19 left via Delta, Tango 4, Foxtrot 1, Foxtrot 2, China Southern 3001 Super. China Southern 3001 Super, request frequency change.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Etihad 8073 Super, ready for pushback with information pop-up. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, China Southern 327 Heavy, ready for pushback with information November.
China Eastern 827, cross runway 20 left.
Crossing runway 20 left, China Eastern 827.
Singapore 850 Heavy, taxi to waypoint via Yankee. Oscar Kilo Tango Oscar November Yankee, you're on an active airport, please contact Guangzhou Baiyun Ground on 121.75.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Etihad 8073 Super, ready for pushback with information pop-up. Taxiing to waypoint via Yankee, Singapore 850 Heavy.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Oscar Kilo Tango Oscar November Yankee, request taxi to cargo FX21 at the FedEx apron.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, China Eastern 827, request taxi to parking.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Etihad 8073 Super, ready for pushback with information pop-up.
China Eastern 827, taxi to parking, at your discretion.
Taxi to parking, China Eastern 827.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, DHL 308, ready for pushback with information Oscar. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Yemeni 708 Super, ready for pushback with information Oscar, requesting runway 20 right. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, China Southern 38 Charlie Sierra Super, request taxi to gate 117 at the Terminal 1. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Royal Air Maroc 789, ready for pushback with information Mike, requesting runway 20 right.
Oscar Kilo Tango Oscar November Yankee, request permission to cross runway 20 left.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Etihad 8073 Super, ready for pushback with information pop-up.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Ethiopian 633 Victor Alpha. Request taxi to cargo 504 at the cargo apron.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Seabird 1914, ready for pushback with information Oscar.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, China Southern 5056. Request taxi to gate 150 at the Terminal 2. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Singapore 850 Heavy. Request taxi to gate 155 at the Terminal 2. Cathay 1018 Heavy. Request frequency change.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, China Southern 502 Victor Alpha, ready for pushback with information Oscar, requesting runway 20 right.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, China Eastern 594. Request taxi to gate 205 at the Terminal 1.
Singapore 850 Heavy, taxi to parking, at your discretion. China Southern 5056, taxi to parking, at your discretion.
Taxi to parking, China Southern 5056.
China Eastern 594, taxi to waypoint via Yankee 13, Yankee. Dynasty 521 Heavy, you're on an active airport, please contact Guangzhou Baiyun Ground on 121.75.
Taxi to parking, Singapore 850 Heavy. Taxiing to waypoint via Yankee 13, Yankee, China Eastern 594.
Oscar Kilo Tango Oscar November Yankee, cross runway 20 left, please expedite. Crossing runway 20 left, Oscar Kilo Tango Oscar November Yankee.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Dynasty 521 Heavy. Request taxi to gate 147 at the Terminal 2.
Dynasty 521 Heavy, taxi to waypoint via.
Taxiing to waypoint via, Dynasty 521 Heavy.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Seabird 1914, ready for pushback with information Oscar. Oscar Kilo Tango Oscar November Yankee, hold short of runway 20 left. Hold short of runway 20 left, Oscar Kilo Tango Oscar November Yankee.
Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Royal Air Maroc 789, ready for pushback with information Mike, requesting runway 20 right. Guangzhou Baiyun Ground, Etihad 520 Super, ready for pushback with information Papa.
DHL 308, pushback approved, tail to the north.
Pushback approved, tail to the north, DHL 308.
Royal Air Maroc 789, pushback approved, tail to the east. Yemeni 708 Super, pushback approved, tail to the east. China Southern 327 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the south. China Southern 502 Victor Alpha, pushback approved, tail to the east. Pushback approved, tail to the east, China Southern 502 Victor Alpha.
Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, China Southern 437, inbound on the ILS runway 20 left.
Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, Qatar Cargo 8941, ready for departure at runway 20 right, departing west. Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, Zulu Alpha Whiskey November Golf, ready for departure in sequence at runway 20 right, departing south.
Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, China Southern 323, inbound on the ILS runway 20 left.
China Southern 437, wind 130 at 9, number 1, runway 20 left, cleared to land.
Number 1, cleared to land, runway 20 left, China Southern 437.
China Southern 323, wind 130 at 9, number 2, runway 20 left, cleared to land.
Number 2, cleared to land, runway 20 left, China Southern 323.
China Southern 3874, wind 130 at 9, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff. China Southern 208 Sierra Alpha, line up and wait runway 20 right.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, China Southern 3874.
November 3164 Alpha, request frequency change.
Qatar Cargo 8941, line up and wait runway 20 right.
China Eastern 001 Charlie Romeo, request frequency change.
China Southern 208 Sierra Alpha, continue taxi.
Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, China Southern 3106 Heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 19 left. China Southern 7696, request permission to cross runway 20 right.
Zulu Alpha Whiskey November Golf, your number 3 for departure.
Continue taxi, China Southern 208 Sierra Alpha.
China Southern 5728, your number 4 for departure.
Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, China Southern 3488, inbound on the ILS runway 19 right with information Papa. Crossing runway 20 right, China Southern 7696.
November 526 Hotel Romeo, request frequency change. November 4164 Alpha, contact Guangzhou Baiyun Ground on 121.75.
Contacting Guangzhou Baiyun Ground on 121.75, November 3164 Alpha.
China Southern 3874, request frequency change.
China Southern 3488, wind 130 at 8, number 1, runway 19 right, cleared to land. China Southern 3106 Heavy, wind 130 at 8, number 1, runway 19 left, cleared to land.
Number 1, cleared to land, runway 19 left, China Southern 3106 Heavy.
Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, Speedbird 350 Heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 20 left with information Papa.
Thank you, good day, China Southern 7696.
China Southern 3874, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved China Southern 3874, good day.
China Eastern 001 Charlie Romeo, frequency change approved, good day. November 526 Hotel Romeo, frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved November 526 Hotel Romeo, good day. Qatar Cargo 8941, continue taxi. Zulu Alpha Whiskey November Golf, line up and wait runway 20 right. Line up and wait runway 20 right, Zulu Alpha Whiskey November Golf.
China Southern 437, request permission to cross runway 20 right.
China Southern 323, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway.
Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, Hotel Zulu Victor India Papa 1, inbound on the ILS runway 19 right. Wilco, China Southern 323.
China Southern 437, continue taxi.
Continue taxi, China Southern 437.
China Southern 437, cross runway 20 right.
Crossing runway 20 right, China Southern 437.
Hotel Zulu Victor India Papa 1, wind 130 at 7, number 2, runway 19 right, cleared to land.
China Southern 932 Victor Golf, request permission to cross runway 20 right. Number 2, cleared to land, runway 19 right, Hotel Zulu Victor India Papa 1.
China Southern 932 Victor Golf, please check the user guide from the home screen for help using ATC instructions.
China Southern 323, request frequency change. I'm sorry, China Southern 932 Victor Golf.
Qatar Cargo 8941, wind 130 at 7, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff.
China Southern 323, request permission to cross runway 20 right.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, Qatar Cargo 8941. Zulu Alpha Whiskey November Golf, continue taxi. China Southern 5728, line up and wait runway 20 right.
China Southern 208 Sierra Alpha, request frequency change.
Line up and wait runway 20 right, China Southern 5728.
China Southern 3488, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway.
Wilco, China Southern 3488.
China Southern 323, hold short of runway 20 right. China Southern 437, contact Guangzhou Bayan ground on 121.75. Guangzhou Bayan Tower, China Southern 690, ready for departure in sequence of runway 20 right, remaining in the pattern. China Southern 690, your number 4 for departure. Roger, China Southern 690. Guangzhou Bayan Tower, Juliet 8 Sierra Victor Golf, ready for departure at runway 19 left, departing east. Guangzhou Bayan Tower, all Nippon 48 heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 20 left with information for PAR. China Southern 323, cross runway 20 right.
Crossing runway 20 right, China Southern 323.
Guangzhou Bayan Tower, China Southern 366 Heavy is 14 nautical miles to the north at 4,000 feet, inbound for landing.
Zulu Alpha Whiskey November Golf, wind 130 at 7, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff. China Southern 5728, continue taxi. Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, Zulu Alpha Whiskey November Golf.
Continue taxi, China Southern 5728.
China Southern 3106 Heavy, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway. All Nippon 48 Heavy, wind 130 at 7, number 1, runway 20 left, cleared to land. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 20 left, all Nippon 48 Heavy. China Southern 366 Heavy, wind 130 at 7, number 2, runway 20 left, cleared to land.
Number 2, cleared to land, runway 20 left, China Southern 366 Heavy.
Wilco, China Southern 3106 Heavy.
Qatar Cargo 8941, frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved Qatar Cargo 8941, good day. Speedbird 350 Heavy, request frequency change. Juliet 8 Sierra Victor Golf, wind 130 at 7, runway 19 left, cleared for takeoff. China Southern 5728, wind 130 at 7, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff. Cleared for takeoff, runway 19 left, Juliet 8 Sierra Victor Golf.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, China Southern 5728.
Speedbird 350 Heavy, when able turn right, hold short runway 20 right. Wilco, Speedbird 350 Heavy. Zulu Alpha Whiskey November Golf, request frequency change. Zulu Alpha Whiskey November Golf, frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved Zulu Alpha Whiskey November Golf, good day. China Southern 619 Super, wind 130 at 7, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, China Southern 619 Super. Guangzhou Bayan Tower, Bravo 7997, ready for departure at runway 19 left, remaining in the pattern.
Bravo 7997, please check the user guide from the home screen for help using ATC instructions. Bravo 7997, tower is not accepting pattern work at this time.
Thank you, good day, China Southern 5728.
Juliet 8 Sierra Victor Golf, frequency change approved, good day. Bravo 7997, wind 130 at 7, runway 19 left, cleared for takeoff. Frequency change approved Juliet 8 Sierra Victor Golf, good day.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 19 left, Bravo 7997. Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, Charlie 9 Kilo Romeo Mike, inbound on the ILS runway 19 right.
Charlie 9 Kilo Romeo Mike, wind 130 at 7, number 1, runway 19 right, cleared to land.
Number 1, cleared to land, runway 19 right, Charlie 9 Kilo Romeo Mike.
Speedbird 350 heavy, cross runway 20 right. All Nippon 48 heavy, when able turn right, hold short runway 20 right. Crossing runway 20 right, Speedbird 350 heavy. Wilco, all Nippon 48 heavy.
Thank you, good day, China Southern 619 Super.
China Southern 619 Super, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved China Southern 619 Super, good day.
Speedbird 350 heavy, request frequency change. China Southern 690, wind 130 at 7, runway 19 right, cleared for takeoff. Speedbird 350 heavy, contact Guangzhou Baiyun ground on 121.75. Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, China Southern 3498, inbound on the ILS runway 19 left. Cleared for takeoff, runway 19 right, China Southern 690.
Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, China Southern 932 Victor Golf, ready for departure in sequence at runway 20 right, departing west.
Contacting Guangzhou Baiyun ground on 121.75, Speedbird 350 heavy. China Southern 3498, wind 130 at 7, number 1, runway 19 left, cleared to land. China Southern 932 Victor Golf, line up and wait runway 20 right.
Line up and wait runway 20 right, China Southern 932 Victor Golf.
China Southern 366 heavy, when able turn right, hold short runway 20 right.
Wilco, China Southern 366 Heavy.
Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, China Southern 80 Echo is 9 nautical miles to the north at 3,000 feet, inbound for landing, requesting runway 19 right.
China Southern 80 Echo, wind 130 at 7, number 2, runway 19 right, cleared to land.
Number 2, cleared to land, runway 19 right, China Southern 80 Echo.
All Nippon 48 heavy, request permission to cross runway 20 right. China Southern 690, frequency change approved, good day. All Nippon 48 heavy, cross runway 20 right. Crossing runway 20 right, all Nippon 48 heavy. Frequency change approved China Southern 690, good day.
Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, Emirates 343 Victor Alpha Super, ready for departure at runway 20 right, departing south.
Emirates 343 Victor Alpha Super, wind 130 at 7, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, Emirates 343 Victor Alpha Super. Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, FedEx 5153 Heavy is 12 nautical miles to the north at 4,000 feet, inbound for landing, requesting runway 20 left.
All Nippon 48 Heavy, contact Guangzhou Baiyun ground on 121.75. Contacting Guangzhou Baiyun ground on 121.75, all Nippon 48 Heavy. Charlie 9 Kilo Romeo Mike, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway.
China Southern 366 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 20 right.
FedEx 5153 Heavy, wind 130 at 7, number 1, runway 20 left, cleared to land.
Wilco, Charlie 9 Kilo Romeo Mike. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 20 left, FedEx 5153 Heavy.
Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, FlexJet 67 Papa Papa, Ready for departure at runway 20 left, departing west.
Guangzhou Bayern Tower, Air Algerie 3180 Heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 19 right with information Quebec. Number 2, cleared to land, runway 19 right, Air Algerie 3180 Heavy.
Guangzhou Bayern Tower, Golf Whiskey November Golf Oscar, ready for departure at runway 20 right, departing west.
Flex J67 Papa, hold short of runway 20 right.
Holding short runway 20 right, flex jet 67 Papa.
Golf Whiskey November Golf Oscar, line up and wait runway 20 right.
Line up and wait runway 20 right, Golf Whiskey November Golf Oscar.
China Southern 3498, request frequency change. China Southern 3498, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway. Wilco, China Southern 3498. China Southern 366 Heavy, cross runway 20 right.
Crossing runway 20 right, China Southern 366 Heavy.
Golf Whiskey November Golf Oscar, wind 130 at 7, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff.
Guangzhou Bayern Tower, Victor November Alpha 890 is 15 nautical miles to the north at 4,400 feet, inbound for landing.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, Golf Whiskey November Golf Oscar.
Flex J67 Papa, line up and wait runway 20 right.
Line up and wait runway 20 right, flex jet 67 Papa.
Guangzhou Bayern Tower, Victor November Alpha 890 is 13 nautical miles to the north at 3,900 feet, inbound for landing, requesting runway 20 left.
Guangzhou Bayern Tower, Delta 90 Papa Zulu, inbound on the ILS runway 20 left with information Papa. Guangzhou Bayern Ground, Emirates 363 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Mike, requesting runway 20 right. Eva 1357, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 20 right, Eva 1357. Guangzhou Bayern Ground, Emirates 363 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the north. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Emirates 363 Heavy. Hotel Zulu Victor India Papa 1, pushback approved, tail to the south. Pushback approved, tail to the south, Hotel Zulu Victor India Papa 1.
Guangzhou Bayern Ground, Hainan 17, ready for pushback with information Romeo, requesting runway 20 right.
Hainan 17, pushback approved, tail to the north.
Guangzhou Bayern Ground, Air India 777, ready for pushback.
Air India 777, pushback approved, tail to the south.
Pushback approved, tail to the north, Hainan 17. Pushback approved, tail to the south, Air India 777.
EK363 Heavy, please wait for clearance before taxiing. Taxiing to waypoint via November 7, November, Tango 5, Hotel, Hotel 1, Charlie 9 Kilo Romeo Mike.
Guangzhou by and ground, Red Cap 235 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Romeo.
EK363 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 20 left.
Thank you, good day, Speedbird 350 Heavy.
Red Cap 235 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the south.
Guangzhou by and ground, Air Algerie 3180 Heavy, request taxi to parking.
Guangzhou Baiyang ground, Turkish 1453, ready for pushback.
Pushback approved, tail to the south, Red Cap 235 Heavy.
Air Algerie 3180 Heavy, taxi to parking, at your discretion. Guangzhou Baiyang ground, EK363 Heavy, ready to taxi with information Romeo.
Taxi to parking, Air Algerie 3180 Heavy.
Turkish 1453, pushback approved, tail to the east. Pushback approved, tail to the east, Turkish 1453. EK363 Heavy, taxi to runway 19 left, contact tower when ready. Air India 777, hold position.
Holding position, Air India 777.
EK363 Heavy, runway 19 left, taxi via Juliet 7, Foxtrot, Foxtrot 1, Foxtrot 2, contact tower when ready. EK365 Heavy, hold position. Guangzhou Baiyang ground, China Eastern 246, ready for pushback with information Romeo. Guangzhou Baiyang ground, Falcon 39, ready for pushback with information Romeo. Guangzhou Baiyang ground, Dynasty 7292, ready to taxi with information Romeo. Falcon 39, hold position. China Eastern 246, hold position. Holding position, China Eastern 246. Guangzhou Baiyang ground, Emirates 363 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information Mike. Dynasty 7292, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Guangzhou Baiyang ground, Saudia 110 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Romeo, requesting runway 20 right. Taxiing to runway 20 right, Dynasty 7292. Holding Emirates 363 Heavy, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Taxi to runway 20 right, Emirates 363 Heavy. Emirates 363 Heavy, taxi to T3 via Bravo, Tango 4, Tango 3. Taxiing to T3 via Bravo, Tango 4, Tango 3, Emirates 363 Heavy. Guangzhou Baiyang ground, Delta 90 Papa Zulu, request taxi to parking. Guangzhou Baiyang ground, China Southern 397, ready for pushback with information Romeo, requesting runway 19 left. Taxiing to runway 19 left, Guangzhou Baiyang ground. Guangzhou Baiyang ground, Turkish 1453, ready to taxi.
Guangzhou by and ground, Red Cap 235 Heavy, ready to taxi with information Romeo.
FedEx 5153 Heavy, taxi to FedEx Apron Cargo FX09, hold short of 2 left 20 right. Taxiing to FedEx Apron Cargo FX09, will hold short of 2 left 20 right, FedEx 5153 Heavy.
Guangzhou by and ground, Speedbird 1 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Romeo, requesting runway 20 right.
Red Cap 235 Heavy, runway 19 left, taxi via Charlie, Tango 4, Foxtrot 1, Foxtrot 2, contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to runway 19 left via Charlie, Tango 4, Foxtrot 1, Foxtrot 2, Red Cap 235 Heavy.
Air India 777, taxi to runway 19 left, contact tower when ready. Speedbird 1 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the west.
Pushback approved, tail to the west, Speedbird 1 Heavy. Guangzhou Bayern ground, Hainan 17, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information Romeo.
China Southern 397, pushback approved, tail to the west. Pushback approved, tail to the west, China Southern 397. I'm sorry, EVA 1357.
Guangzhou Bayern ground, Ukraine International 1307, request taxi to gate 169 at the Terminal 2.
Hainan 17, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. China Eastern 246, pushback approved, tail to the west.
Taxiing to runway 20 right, Hainan 17.
Guangzhou Bayern ground, Golf Juliet Kilo X-ray Oscar, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information Romeo.
Pushback approved, tail to the west, China Eastern 246. Guangzhou Bayern ground, Hotel Bravo Juliet Mike Bravo, request taxi to parking. Ukraine International 1307, taxi to Terminal 2 gate 169.
Taxiing to Terminal 2 gate 169, Ukraine International 1307.
Victor November Alpha 890, request permission to cross runway 2 left.
Guangzhou Bayern ground, Sadia 110 heavy, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information Romeo. Hotel Bravo Juliet Mike Bravo, taxi to parking, at your discretion.
Guangzhou Bayern ground, Tango Yankee Lima Echo Romeo, request taxi to gate 109 at the Terminal 1. Guangzhou Bayern ground, Speedbird 1 heavy, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information Romeo.
Taxi to parking, Hotel Bravo Juliet Mike Bravo. Sadia 110 heavy, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 20 right, Sadia 110 heavy. Speedbird 1 heavy, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to runway 20 right, Speedbird 1 heavy. Taxiing to runway 20 right, Hainan 17.
Victor November Alpha 890, contact Guangzhou Bayern Tower on 118.1. Guangzhou Bayern ground, China Southern 397, ready to taxi to runway 19 left with information Romeo. Golf Juliet Kilo X-ray Oscar, contact Guangzhou Bayern Tower on 118.1.
Contacting Guangzhou Bayern Tower on 118.1, Golf Juliet Kilo X-ray Oscar.
Guangzhou Bayern ground, Japan Air 5163 heavy, ready for pushback with information Romeo. Japan Air 5163 heavy, disregard last message.
Victor November Alpha 890, contact Guangzhou Bayern Tower on 118.1. Guangzhou Bayern ground, China Eastern 246, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information Romeo.
Guangzhou Bayern ground, Victor November Alpha 890, request taxi to gate 107 at the Terminal 1.
Japan Air 5163 heavy, pushback approved, tail to the west.
Pushback approved, tail to the west, Japan Air 5163 heavy.
Taxiing to runway 20 right, China Eastern 246. China Southern 397, taxi to runway 19 left, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 19 left, China Southern 397. Speedbird 1732 Super, pushback approved, tail to the west.
Pushback approved, tail to the west, Speedbird 1732 Super.
Victor November Alpha 890, contact Guangzhou Bayern Tower on 118.1. Thank you, good day, Hotel Zulu Victor India Papa 1. China Southern 397, give way to aircraft ahead. Give way to aircraft, China Southern 397. FedEx 5153 heavy, hold position.
Victor November Alpha 890, request permission to cross runway 2 left.
Holding position, FedEx 5153 heavy. Guangzhou Bayern ground, American 698, ready for pushback.
Guangzhou Bayern ground, China Southern 475, request taxi to parking.
China Southern 475, taxi to parking, at your discretion.
Taxi to parking, China Southern 475.
Sadia 110 heavy, hold position. Holding position, Sadia 110 heavy. Cayman 17, please check the user guide from the home screen for help using ATC instructions. Guangzhou Baiyun ground, hold position.
Guangzhou Baiyun ground, China Southern 9082 Bravo Heavy, request taxi to gate 204 at the Terminal 1.
Victor November Alpha 890, request permission to cross runway 2 left.
Guangzhou Baiyun ground, maintain safe distance with aircraft ahead please.
Guangzhou Baiyun ground, Japan Air 5163 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 20 right with information Romeo.
Guangzhou Baiyun ground, Tango Yankee Lima Echo Romeo, request taxi to parking.
China Southern 9082 Bravo Heavy, taxi to Terminal 1 Gate 204 via November, Tango 5, Hotel, Hotel 1, Echo.
Taxiing to Terminal 1 Gate 204 via November, Tango 5, Hotel, Hotel 1, Echo, China Southern 9082 Bravo Heavy.
Guangzhou Baiyun ground, China Southern 632, ready for pushback with information Romeo.
Guangzhou Baiyun ground, Speedbird 1732 Super, ready to taxi to runway 19 left with information Romeo.
Japan Air 5163 Heavy, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to runway 20 right, Japan Air 5163 Heavy.
Speedbird 1732 Super, taxi to runway 19 left, contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to runway 19 left, Speedbird 1732 Super.
Guangzhou Baiyun ground, China Southern 632, ready to taxi with... Guangzhou Baiyun ground, China Eastern 246, ready to taxi to runway 19 left with information Romeo. Guangzhou Baiyun ground, China Eastern 246, ready to taxi to runway 19 left with information Romeo. China Eastern 246, runway 20 right, taxi via Tango 3, Alpha, Lima 22, Alpha 1, contact tower when ready. Guangzhou Baiyun ground, Air China 1872 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Romeo. Taxiing to runway 20 right via Tango 3, Alpha, Lima 22, Alpha 1, China Eastern 246. Sadia 110 Heavy, hold position. Sadia 110 Heavy, please follow instructions or you will be reported.
Japan Air 5163 Heavy, request frequency change.
Japan Air 5163 Heavy, runway 20 right, taxi via Tango 3, Alpha, Lima 22, Alpha 1, contact tower when ready.
Thank you, good day, Japan Air 5163 Heavy.
Air China 1872 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the east. Guangzhou Baiyun ground, Air China 410, ready for pushback with information Romeo. Pushback approved, tail to the east, Air China 1872 Heavy. Pushback approved, tail to the west, Air China 410. Guangzhou Baiyun ground, China Southern 698 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Romeo.
Guangzhou Baiyun ground, Tango Charlie Papa Oscar Echo Super, ready for pushback.
China Southern 698 Heavy, hold position. Holding position, China Southern 698 Heavy. Tango Charlie Papa Oscar Echo Super, pushback approved, tail to the south.
Pushback approved, tail to the south, Tango Charlie Papa Oscar Echo Super. Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, Air China 5561, inbound on the ILS runway 20 left.
Hold. Guangzhou Baiyun Tower, Emirates 363 Heavy, ready for departure at runway 20 right, remaining in the pattern.
Air China 5561, wind 130 at 7, number 3, runway 20 left, cleared to land. Number 3, cleared to land, runway 20 left, Air China 5561. China Southern 72 Tango Alpha Heavy, frequency change approved, good day. Tango Juliet Mike Alpha X-ray, wind 130 at 7, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff.
Frequency change approved China Southern 72 Tango Alpha Heavy, good day.
Indonesia 406 Golf Golf, hold short of runway 20 right.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, Tango Juliet Mike Alpha X-ray. Holding short runway 20 right, Indonesia 406 Golf Golf. China Southern 420 Heavy, request frequency change.
India Mike India Kilo Echo, when able turn right, hold short runway 20 right.
Wilco, India Mike India Kilo Echo.
China Southern 397, wind 130 at 7, runway 19 left, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 19 left, China Southern 397.
FedEx 187, continue taxi. Continue taxi, FedEx 187. Tango Juliet Mike Alpha X-ray, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved Tango Juliet Mike Alpha X-ray, good day.
Guangzhou Bayan Tower, FedEx 187, ready for departure at runway 20 right, departing straight out.
Thank you, good day, Tango Juliet Mike Alpha X-ray.
Guangzhou Bayan Tower, Speedbird 1732 Super, ready for departure in sequence at runway 19 left, departing north. Indonesia 406 Golf Golf, cross runway 20 right.
Crossing runway 20 right, Indonesia 406 Golf Golf. Crossing runway 20 right, India Mike India Kilo Echo.
FedEx 187, please check the user guide from the home screen for help using ATC instructions. Dynasty 7292, line up and wait runway 20 right. FedEx 187, continue taxi. FedEx 187, please follow instructions or you will be reported.
Thank you, good day, India Mike India Kilo Echo. FedEx 5153 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 20 right.
China Southern 378, when able turn right, hold short runway 20 right.
Guangzhou Bayan Tower, Saudi 281 India November Heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 19 right.
Wilco, China Southern 378.
Dynasty 7292, wind 130 at 7, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, Dynasty 7292.
Speedbird 1732 Super, wind 130 at 7, runway 19 left, cleared for takeoff.
Approaching runway 20 right. Wilco, Air China 167.
Emirates 363 Heavy, line up and wait runway 20 right. FedEx.
Entered runway 20 right.
China Southern 378, cross runway 20 right.
Crossing runway 20 right, China Southern 378.
Guangzhou Bayan Tower, Cathay 982 is 15 nautical miles to the north at 3,000 feet, inbound for landing.
Guangzhou Bayan Tower, Asiana 21, inbound on the ILS runway 20 right.
Saudi 281 India November Heavy, wind 130 at 7, number 1, runway 19 right, cleared to land. Emirates 363 Heavy, continue taxi.
Continue taxi, Emirates 363 Heavy. Line up and wait runway 20 right, Turkish 1453.
Emirates 363 Heavy, wind 130 at 7, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, Emirates 363 Heavy.
China Southern 397, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved Dynasty 7292, good day.
Speedbird 1732 Super, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved China Southern 397, good day.
Frequency change approved. Speedbird 1732 Super, good day. Guangzhou Bayan Tower, Speedbird 1 Heavy, ready for departure at runway 20 right, departing north. FedEx 5153 Heavy, cross runway 20 left.
Crossing runway 20 left, FedEx 5153 Heavy.
Turkish 1453, continue taxi.
Continue taxi, Turkish 1453.
Speedbird 1 Heavy, line up and wait runway 20 right. Line up and wait runway 20. Emirates 363 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day. Turkish 1.
Frequency change approved. Emirates 363 Heavy, good day. Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, Turkish 1453.